Is aiming for good enough lazy? Or does the relentless pursuit of perfection actually cripple progress? Welcome to LevelUp Leadership, the podcast dedicated to helping you elevate your leadership journey. I'm Lee, and this is the second part of our series on achieving prioritization mastery. In our last episode, we introduced the Priority Compass and focused on the foundational skills of managing your immediate to-do list by distinguishing between importance and urgency. We laid the groundwork for clearing the clutter and gaining control of your daily tasks. Today, we're taking the next step. We're moving beyond simply reacting to demands and delving into how to create time for proactive work. This is about understanding that perfection isn't the goal for every task, and that good enough, when applied correctly, is a smart strategy for achieving real results. In this episode, we'll explore what good enough means, both for individual pieces of work and for broader strategic and organisational change. We'll look at how chasing perfection can actually lead to more rework and how clarity up front can save mountains of time. We'll also distinguish between scenarios where perfection is non-negotiable versus the vast majority of situations where striving for optimal rather than absolute perfection yields greater benefits. The ultimate goal is to empower you to manage your workload strategically, reinvesting the time you save into high-impact, proactive leadership. Okay, let's go. When it comes to individual pieces of work, the challenge is often the endless cycle of refining, tweaking, and polishing. This is a direct extension of our last discussion on prioritization. Once you've identified an important task, the next step is to define what done looks like. How many times have we, our teams, or others poured endless hours into something that was already fit for purpose? This isn't just inefficient, it can be demoralizing, and the marginal gains from extra effort diminish rapidly. The key to unlocking efficiency here lies in a critical upfront step, defining good enough at the very outset. Before any work begins, there needs to be absolute clarity on the brief. What is the precise requirement? Who is the audience for this document, report, or product? What is the forum it will be presented in? And, crucially, what is its ultimate purpose? Consider, for example, a report. If it's going to be used once for a single specific decision, what is the minimum information required to serve that purpose? Do we need to spend extra time adding every possible data point, or just the essential figures that enable decision makers to act? Conversely, if it's a matter of record, something that will be referred back to for years to come, then perhaps an audit trail and comprehensive details are vital. Pinning down these needs with absolute clarity from the start can save exponential amounts of time later on. Think about the software development team creating a prototype, for example. The goal isn't to build flawless, fully robust products on the first pass. It's to create something good enough to test the core concept, gather user feedback, and prove viability. The focus is on functionality and learning, not perfection. This distinction is vital, and it clearly relates to our discussion on prioritization. By spending more time defining what's needed up front, we spend less time on the actual creation, and we avoid the endless cycles of rework that often comes from undefined pursuit of perfection. Now, before we delve deeper into the benefits of good enough, it's crucial to acknowledge those rare scenarios where perfection, or as close to it as is humanly possible, is actually absolutely non-negotiable. Imagine a space mission landing humans on the moon. If a single component of that mission is merely good enough, the implications could be catastrophic. A slight miscalculation, a minor defect, an unverified component, and the lives of the astronauts, the monumental investment of the project, and the global aspirations could all be lost. The success of that mission will rely on meticulous planning, exhaustive testing, and the unwavering commitment of engineering and excellence. Similarly, in fields like aviation, medical device design, large-scale civil engineering projects like bridges and dams, the margin for error is incredibly slim. These are situations where the direct consequence of failure is loss of life, widespread disaster, or immense public risk. In these cases, the standard for good enough is incredibly high, almost to the point of perfection already, because the cost of failure is simply unacceptable. However, it's vital to recognize that such scenarios are the exception, not the rule, and in the vast majority of our leadership roles and organizational initiatives, good enough is good enough. For most strategic and organizational changes, the relentless pursuit of perfection is a significant barrier to progress. This is where the time saved from our effective prioritization mindset can be strategically reinvested. Leaders sometimes delay crucial initiatives because they're afraid of launching something that isn't absolutely flawless. This can be driven by concerns about reputation, embarrassment if things go wrong or over budget, or the fear that a less than perfect outcome might reflect poorly on them. This mindset often leads to analysis paralysis, endless planning cycles, and ultimately missed opportunities. The blank page approach is a powerful way to overcome this. Imagine you're starting from scratch. If you had a blank page, how would you design your organization? Would you consciously build in all of the inefficiencies and imperfections that currently exist? Would you be embarrassed if you designed it the way it works today? The blank page approach forces us to confront the reality of our current state without the baggage of how it's always been done. It helps us to see that incremental improvements, even if they don't lead to 100% perfection, can be vastly superior to the current situation. Let's use an analogy. Think about rating your current organization's effectiveness and efficiency and their consistency of processes. Let's be generous. Let's say it scores 70% across the board. Now, if you could implement changes that would move it to 80% effectiveness, efficiency, and consistency, that would be a vast improvement. Even if it means you're still 20% shy of perfection, it's still a giant leap forward from where you are at the moment. So why would you endlessly procrastinate in pursuit of a hypothetical 100% perfection when you could achieve a substantial 80% now, while still working towards even greater improvements in the longer term? This is not about accepting mediocrity. It's about making pragmatic progress. It's about understanding that the pursuit of perfection can paralyze action. So, as you reflect on your own leadership journey and the projects you're currently managing, ask yourself, am I defining what good enough means for each task and each strategic objective? Am I embracing the courage to act, even if it means iterating and improving along the way, rather than waiting for the perfect big bang that may never come? This episode, along with the first part of our series, is aimed to give you the tools to help prioritize effectively. First, by using the Priority Compass to manage your immediate demands, and second, by embracing the good enough principle to free up time and energy. This allows you to strategically reinvest your time into proactive work, making a significant impact beyond just clearing your to-do list. Think about where you can apply the good enough principle to make meaningful progress this week. What's one area where you can stop chasing the mythical 100% perfection and instead deliver a highly effective outcome that moves things forward? Don't forget to follow LevelUp Leadership so you never miss an article designed to help you elevate your leadership journey. If you haven't listened to part 1, the Priority Compass, I highly recommend you go back and do that, as these 2 episodes together provide the framework for a more focused and impactful way of working. If you found this helpful, please share this with your network. And until next time, keep leading, keep learning, and keep leveling up.